Today, I'm going to tell you the story of how a glittering New Year's Eve celebration in one of the world's most picturesque ski resorts turned into a night of unimaginable horror, claiming the lives of 40 people and leaving over 100 others scarred forever. This isn't some ancient legend or unsolved mystery from the shadows of history. This happened just days ago, on January 1st, 2026, in the heart of the Swiss Alps. And like so many of the videos I share, it's a reminder that sometimes the most ordinary moments can spiral into something truly terrifying, especially when hidden dangers lurk just out of sight. Imagine this. It's the final hours of 2025, and the alpine resort town of Crans-Montana in Switzerland's Valais canton is alive with festive energy. Nestled high in the mountains, with breathtaking views of snow-capped peaks like the Matterhorn and Mont Blanc, Crans-Montana has long been a playground for the affluent, skiers gliding down pristine slopes by day, and partygoers filling stylish bars by night. The town, with its chalet-style buildings and twinkling lights, feels like a winter wonderland straight out of a postcard. But on this particular evening, the focus is on Le Constellation, a popular two-story bar right in the heart of the resort's nightlife district, near the intersection of Rue Centrale and Route de Téléphériques. Owned by a French couple, Jacques and Jessica Moretti, who bought the place back in 2015. It's known for its lively atmosphere, good music, and affordable drinks that draw in locals and tourists alike. Jacques, a 49-year-old with a background that includes some shady dealings in France, like convictions for fraud and even pimping, and his 40-year-old wife Jessica had turned Le Constellation into a go-to spot for young people. They renovated it themselves, adding touches to make it feel more like a trendy nightclub. In the basement, they installed pyramid-patterned acoustic foam on the low ceiling to dampen the noise from thumping bass and cheering crowds. After all, in a quiet alpine town surrounded by residential areas, you don't want complaints from the neighbors. The foam was cheap, easy to get from any hardware store, and did the job for soundproofing. But here's where things start to get dark. That foam wasn't the fire-retardant kind required for public spaces. It was highly flammable, rated M4 under Swiss standards, meaning it could ignite easily and burn like gasoline. Swiss regulations are strict about this stuff. Materials in bars and clubs need to be non-combustible, or at least low flammability, to prevent exactly what was about to happen. But no one checked. The last official fire safety inspection had been in 2019, and due to a mix of COVID disruptions, understaffed municipal teams, just 5 officers for over 10,000 buildings, and perhaps a lax attitude in this Swiss paradox of a place where national precision meets local leniency, the bar slipped through the cracks for years. Upstairs, there's a ground floor lounge and an outdoor terrace for about 40 people, but the real action is downstairs in the basement nightclub. It's a confined space with low ceilings, probably under 2.5 meters high, and a single narrow internal staircase leading up to the main level. The official capacity is 300, but on New Year's Eve, with promotions for flaming champagne bottles and a crowd hyped for the countdown, it's packed. Estimates suggest over 200 people are down there, many of them teens and young adults from Switzerland, France, Italy, and beyond. Groups like the Lutry football team are celebrating, along with locals and tourists who've come for the slopes but stayed for the party. Among them are kids as young as 14, below the legal drinking age, but in a resort town buzzing with holiday spirit, who's really checking IDs that strictly. Take 16-year-old Achille Barossi, an aspiring artist from Milan, Italy, out with friends for what should have been a fun night. Or 19-year-old Tahiris dos Santos, a promising footballer with FC Metz, dancing with his girlfriend. There's 15-year-old Charlotte Needham, an Israeli with triple citizenship, French, Israeli, British, and sisters Alicia and Diana Gunst, 15 and 14, also Jewish girls enjoying the festivities. Emanuele Galoppini, a 17-year-old golf prodigy living in Dubai but with Italian roots. Sione Panine, a 33-year-old French waitress working the shift. Stefan Ivanovich, the 31-year-old security guard, keeping an eye on the crowd. These aren't just names. They're people with dreams, families, futures, snuffed out in a matter of minutes. The clock ticks past midnight. Cheers erupt, glasses clink, and the DJ keeps the music pumping. At around 1:26 Central European Time, the staff kicks off a special champagne service to keep the energy high. A barman, wearing a Guy Fawkes mask for some theatrical flair, hoists a waitress onto his shoulders. She's holding bottles of bubbly topped with fountain candle sparklers, those pyrotechnic devices that shoot sparks upward like mini fireworks. They're popular for celebrations, burning at temperatures up to 1,000 degrees Celsius. But in a low-ceilinged basement, they're a recipe for disaster. As they parade through the crowd, the sparks fly high, too high. They brush against the polyurethane foam on the ceiling. At first, no one notices anything wrong. The sparks look like part of the show, adding to the sparkle of the night. But polyurethane foam isn't like wood. It doesn't need much to ignite. Its low ignition threshold means a small spark is enough to start an exothermic reaction. Within seconds, a small flame flickers to life on the ceiling. The pyramid shape of the foam increases its surface area, allowing oxygen to feed the fire rapidly. Staff try to douse it with whatever's at hand, maybe a fire extinguisher if one was nearby. But it's too late. The fire spreads laterally across the ceiling like a wave, and then comes the truly horrifying part, the raining fire phenomenon. As the foam heats up, it doesn't just burn, it melts. The polymer chains break down, turning the material into a liquid that drips down while still aflame. Imagine burning plastic raining from above, molten droplets landing on people's hair, clothes, skin, and the floor below. Secondary fires ignite everywhere, on furniture, on the dance floor, on the patrons themselves. Screams pierce the air as confusion turns to terror. At first, we thought it was part of the celebration, one survivor later recalls. But then the heat hit and the smoke. It was like hell opened up. The music keeps playing for another 30 or 40 seconds, delaying the full realization. This is classic normalcy bias. People looking to others for cues, assuming it's not as bad as it seems. Some even pull out their phones to film the flames, wasting precious time. But soon, the DJ cuts the sound, and the panic sets in. The basement fills with thick, toxic smoke, laden with hydrogen cyanide, HCN, from the burning foam, a gas that attacks cells and causes rapid unconsciousness. Oxygen levels drop. Temperatures soar past 600 degrees Celsius at the ceiling. In about 60 to 90 seconds from ignition, the room hits flashover, the point where trapped superheated gases and radiant heat cause every combustible surface to ignite simultaneously. Witnesses describe it as an explosion or blast. Not literal, but the perceptual shock of the room erupting in flames all at once. Now, survival is a race against time. The crowd surges toward the only known exit, that single narrow staircase. But it's a bottleneck. At high densities, over 4 people per square meter, movement becomes fluid-like, with shock waves rippling through the press of bodies. People push, fall, and pile up. The arching effect at the doorway jams flow almost to zero. Friction and pressure make it impossible to move. The staircase itself, narrowed during the 2015 renovations from a safer width to just about 1 meter, acts as an impediment. Steps require a change in gait, and in panic, trips turn into pileups. Reports suggest the wooden structure even detached under the weight, collapsing and sending people tumbling back into the inferno. Then there's the service door, a potential secondary exit at ground level, connected to the basement. But Jacques Moretti later admits it was locked from the inside. Why? Perhaps to prevent unauthorized access or theft, but in an emergency, that's a deadly violation of life safety codes. Doors and egress paths must be unlocked and operable without keys. This created a dead end, forcing everyone to funnel through the collapsing stairs. Behind that locked door, rescuers later find piles of bodies, including a young waitress who succumbed shortly after being pulled out. Heroism shines through the darkness. Stefan Ivanovich, the security guard, stays behind to direct people out, yelling instructions amid the smoke until he collapses. Tahiris dos Santos, burned over 30% of his body, re-enters the blaze to save his girlfriend. Others smash windows or break through barriers, but for many it's too late. The toxic smoke knocks them out before the flames reach them. HCN causing histotoxic hypoxia, starving cells of oxygen. Bodies are found in heaps at the exits, victims of compressive asphyxia or thermal burns. Outside, the alarm is raised at 1:30 Central European Time. First responders arrive by 1:32, but the fire's physics mean the outcome was sealed early. A massive operation unfolds. 150 personnel, 40 ambulances, 10 helicopters from Air Zermatt and Riga. A no-fly zone clears the skies for evacuations. Triage centers pop up in nearby spots like a UBS bank branch and other bars, shielding victims from the freezing alpine night. Hospitals in Schaun overflow. Patients are airlifted to specialized burn units in Lausanne, Zurich, Geneva, and even abroad to France, Germany, Italy, Belgium, and Poland. The scale demands skin grafts from Dutch tissue banks, up to 1 million Swiss francs per victim in costs. Identifications take days, relying on DNA and dental records since many are burned from head to foot. By January 5th, all 40 are identified. 21 Swiss, 9 French, 6 Italian, and others from Belgium, Portugal, Romania, Turkey. Over half are minors, the youngest 14. A national day of mourning on January 9th brings ceremonies in Martigny, silent marches, and half-mast flags. The investigation ramps up quickly. Prosecutors open probes into negligent homicide, bodily harm, and arson. Jacques Moretti is detained on January 9th as a flight risk, his prior record weighing heavily. He admits installing the foam and locking the door but denies intent. Jessica, who sustained minor burns, is released with restrictions like an electronic bracelet. Lawyers for victims like Romain Jordan blast slow evidence handling, deleted social media, delayed questionings, and target the municipality for the inspection void. Mayor Nicolas Farad apologizes for the resource-strapped team that skipped checks, prompting bans on indoor pyrotechnics and external audits. This disaster exposes the Swiss paradox. A nation famed for rules, yet decentralized cantons like Valais sometimes prioritize tourism over enforcement. It halts the VKF's 2026 code revisions, which aim to relax standards for performance-based approaches, now seen as risky after the Moretis DIY failures. Comparisons to past nightclub fires like the Station nightclub fire, which happened in Rhode Island, United States in 2003, claimed 100 lives, and Kiss nightclub fire in Brazil, which had a fatality of 242 lives in 2013, highlight the deadly pattern. Pyrotechnics plus foam equals flashover. Broader impacts ripple out. Vail Resorts, acquiring Crans-Montana ski lifts, faces reputational hits despite no direct involvement, echoing their $12.4 million Colorado lift accident judgment. Insurance claims could hit hundreds of millions, with AXA's 30 million Swiss francs coverage falling short. The resort, eyeing the 2027 FIS Alpine World Ski Championships and 2038 Winter Olympics, now contends with lax safety stigma. In the end, this wasn't a freak accident but a chain of choices. Cheap foam over safety, locked doors over lives, overlooked inspections over vigilance. It's a strange, dark reminder that in our pursuit of celebration, we sometimes invite the mysterious hand of fate, or negligence, to turn joy into tragedy. The legacy? Stricter codes, perhaps, and a town forever changed. If you've ever been to a crowded bar, think twice about those fun sparklers. And if this story resonated, hit that subscribe button for more videos from the edge of the unknown. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, and see you next time.